Hey, I'm gonna come back with another one, and I just want to talk to all the people that that responded to my video the other day. Um, I don't want nobody to think that I am in any way trying to denigrate Tarig Nasheed. What I'm simply saying is that we need to stop being to think that we are um, can do anything just us here in America. See, the one thing that really bothers me about what he says a lot of times is he's talking about like these Africans, these people that came from other countries to America. Okay, they, they came for a better life, right? And you know the reason why they came for that better life was because America screwed their countries up so bad that they just wanted to have what we have over here. We take this thing for granted over here. That's why when they come over here, the majority of them are successful. They hustling. They going out there getting that paper. And when you have someone that is constantly talking in a way as if we are better than these people, African from the continent, and reality in reality, we're not. We are all struggling because the same people that kicked our asses over here kicked their asses over there. So if you thinking that, if you believe that in any way, shape, form, or fashion, that we are better than any of those people, we're not. But see, that is what the supremacists want you to think. They want us to be separated. They don't want us to ever come together. And as long as we're doing the things that we're doing, as far as having the conversations that Tariq talks about, there's nothing substantial in what he's talking about. He's not giving you any real history. He's not talking about the things that happened over there in Africa that made them poor. He can't talk to the fact of how they are living on some of the most fertile land on the planet Earth, yet many of those countries are desperately poor. Why is that? Why do you think that they're this poor like that? Do you think they're just lazy? They're not lazy. But if you're constantly being messed with, manipulated, messing with the currency, killing off the leaders and the ones that they let come into to rule, the ones that they do let rule are beholden to America. That's why they had the IMF over there, International Monetary Fund. Do you know the countries that have been destroyed that owe them so much money they can't even do anything with? Do you know what happens over there in those francophone states in West Africa, like Burkina Faso, for example? They couldn't even have their own money. They had to have the franc money. They couldn't get outside businesses unless they cleared it with France first. I mean, it's things like that. Those are the conversations that we should have. Why is it when you got the most, like I said, you got the most fertile land in the world, you can't produce your own food? You can't even feed yourself. Do you think that's by just happenstance? It's by design, y'all. That is by design. All those things. Why do you think? Why do you think, for example, I can get in a plane or a car, and I can go from here in the state I'm in right now. Well, just say this: I can go from California to New York with no impediment, none whatsoever. I can make a phone call at any time, day or night, on my cell phone, and call anywhere in the country for just the cost of my monthly bill. You can't do that over there. You cannot do that over there. You can't fly in a plane from one part of the country to the next. And somebody, as a testament to one of the people that wrote to me in the comment, said that Africa is It's a continent with 54 countries in it, and they all split up. Who split them up? See, once you start looking into that, you understand why you feel the way you feel. And see, Tarig plays into that. He's not playing into it because um, uh, he's not doing it for a good reason. I don't believe that. He's doing it for a profit reason, because that kind of dissension, that kind of conflict between us and them is a money thing for him. Because look, somebody said something to me about I mentioned his name for clout. I don't give a damn about no clout. I care about Africans the world over, and I think that we should be able to control our own destiny. Why is it that over there in Africa, most of those countries over there in Africa, they can't even open up their own stores. They can't have their own little businesses. They don't have the money for that. A lot of times. Why is it over here in America that a Korean could come in the middle of the black community and open up a restaurant and it be successful, a nail shop, a hair shop, and just making money hand over fist? Why is that? Why is that? Why can't we open up those things over there? Because we have been so inculcated with this narrative that we cannot do it. And when you see a brother that does that, we talk about him and beat him up so bad, and just let the first person that come in there that's different from them, different from us rather, come in there, and we'll just let that man run out of business. Run him straight out of business, because we always think the ice with the other person is always colder. We have to learn that we are one people, no matter what. I mean, I don't give a damn. You think whatever it is, we are really one people. Can you tell me this? You get a person that's from an Italian that has never, ever been to his homeland. But if you asked him about that, he'd never turn his back on a fellow Italian over there in Italy. He'd never do it. He'll never do it, because just inherently he understands that he is connected to those people. He understands that those are his people. He knows it. See, they took that away from us, y'all. They took that away from us, so we don't feel that way. We are always trying to fight one another. Always, this tribalism that we have in our communities. It's even, they got it over there, and we have it over here. But when you see a leader over there in Africa stands up for his people, like Patrice Lumumba in the Congo, when that brother said, no, we're not going to let you take all of our resources out and we ain't going to get nothing. We're not going to let you do that, because I'm going to use my resources for my people. What happened to him? He got his ass killed. Huh? Yeah. What about Libya? Gaddafi. Gaddafi was about to turn that shit out. And when he started talking about that paper, taking the dollar and putting it on a gold standard, when he started talking about doing stuff like that, making one currency throughout the continent of Africa, and having it it was the gold standard again, like it used to be here in the 70s before Nixon took it off. He got killed. So they foment this dissatisfaction in that country. They find some people that are grieving, that want to go against him, that want to take his power. And then they feed that power. They give him weapons, logistics, everything he needs, everything they need to turn the country out, turn it over. And then they put their own puppet leaders in there. You look at pictures, all you got to do, y'all, come on. All you got to do is look at old pictures of Libya before it got bombed by Hillary Clinton and Obama. And you look at it now. Open slave markets just destroy a beautiful city. They had free medical. everybody there had a house or a flat. Everybody, there was no homeless there. There was no hunger there. Any of that. Why? See, if everybody was on that level, thinking on that tip to we are all one people, no matter if we all different, we come from different places, speak different languages, all that stuff. Because that's in Africa. They have so many different dialects in Africa. They do. But still, you can learn the other language. You could learn to get along. They do the same thing in Europe. There's so many different languages over there in Europe. But when it come down to getting down for their survival, they will put all of that stuff aside. They'll put it all aside to work with each other to make sure that their respective clans be profitable, be taken care of. But we don't do that. See, we let people come in and do shit to us, talk to us about anything, give us these false hopes, promise us all this damn shit, talking about jobs and all that stuff. Never talking about owning businesses. Never talk about anything like that. Never talk about the new technology that's available to us right now. We are all caught. Man, you know what? Black people in America alone have made empires. I mean, literally, we have created whole industries. The music industry, the fashion industry, the hair industry. We don't even control that. Black hair is not even controlled by black people. I mean, think about just think about that. Think about that. So why isn't he talking about that? See, when I hear him talk, and see, I don't want to talk like that about him. That's a brother, and I respect him to a certain degree. But when I hear him talking, making jokes about, all these African people, how they, they fled their countries and all that kind of shit without giving the proper perspective of why they fled their country, that's disingenuous right there. Because you're not saying why they fled. You're just making it as they were just weak, they just ran. No, man, they had to run. They had to go. Because if they didn't, it was a matter of life or death. It was a matter, you had to feed your mama, your kids, your grandmama, all that stuff. You had to survive. So they looking over here in America and they see the land of milk and honey. It's opportunity here. But it's only opportunity here because they destroyed their lands. I mean, that is so obvious. And see, you can't get caught up in that shit that he's talking about. Any person that's gonna be just talking about that stuff. I hear, what's that guy's name? I forgot his name now. Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton, right? He got the Action Network or something like that. Who getting all that money, Al Sharpton? Who's getting that money? What's that money doing for us? Huh? All he's talking about jobs. He got a TV show out the deal. Yeah, he got a TV show. But he ain't nothing but an employee himself. You look at guys like Umar Johnson. How long has he had that damn school in the building, in the making? Never made it. He done collected so much money. And he's still asking for money. I mean, years after the initial request for the money. The school just sitting there. The damn thing is just rotting away over there in Delaware. But the guy can talk very good, and he knows the subjects matter even better than Tarig. See, people that do shit like that need to be pushed aside, man. We need people that's going to do something for real, man, and stop that bullshit. That's what we need to get rid of that. And see, those are the people that risk their lives literally, because when you start becoming aware of what's really going on, and you get past all of the media that they put out there in front of us to block us, all of the games, the women's, the women out there have naked online and all that kind of stuff, and all these little dances and all that shit, that ain't nothing but just like in the Roman days where they just had those Colosseum where people got out there and just get murdered. Entertainment for the people. And so as long as you are being entertained, you can't focus on the real issues. You can't focus on that. You're not worrying about so much at that moment why you ain't got that job, why your kid is a little bit hungry today. You know what I'm saying? When that guy, you seeing these cops killing our children in the street in cold blood, you know, but we can go and look at UPN and laugh for a couple of hours at a show. It's time for us as a people in this country to understand that this is real shit. You know, and first, you know, I didn't think about, when I heard people talking about doing elections, they were talking about Project 25 and all that stuff, and I was like, that's some bullshit. But I read it though. And exactly what this guy, what it was in that document, they are actually implementing that stuff line by line every damn month. Every day they try to slip a little bit in more, a little bit in here. And if we don't become prepared for that stuff, and our children don't even understand, and I don't know, I'm not saying it's us, well it is, because we need to get our kids up on this new AI technology. Because everywhere I go, I see it being implemented in everything, and it's very subtle. Like I went to a gas station today. I got me some pumpkin seeds and a soda, right? They had one person where it used to be just a whole fleet of people in the store. You just put your stuff on this computer, on this little bed with this little monitor on it, and it's just doo-doo-doo. You put your card on there, and it's done. They don't even bag it up for you. They got bags sitting right there on the side. You bag your own shit up now. Those are several jobs that are going like that. That is going to be the norm. Not the exception, but the norm. And if our children don't understand that, and we don't start pushing our children to understand that they need to learn math, science, and know how to read, and understand that we have to create our own industries for ourselves, and the things that we dominate, like hair, and entertainment, clothes, all that kind of stuff, we have to learn to control that and block it off. So nobody can get that. Just like China's doing right now. That's why America's mad. They're mad because America gave the manufacturing industry away to them out of greed because they wanted to increase the profit margin for the shareholders. See, this the shit that I don't hear Tarig and Umar and all these other people talking about that shit. That should put the fear of God in you. If you got kids, that should scare you beyond measure. Beyond measure. Because the more we sit back and do all this bullshit and listen to guys sit up and just make jokes and make funny laughs and memes and all that kind of stuff, that means we're getting further and further back. And we are not improving. And that's the same thing that's happening over there on the continent of Africa. But see, they're kind of waking up a little bit now. They've always fought. And I didn't know that. See, Tarig said shit like they just ran. No, man. They fought over there. And I'm gonna do a little something later on. I gotta do a little bit more research on it. But they were always fighting for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. You know what I'm saying? But they pit one against the other. They split it up so they can't communicate with one another. And see, the reason why they are beginning to start rise up now is because the democratization of technology. I can get on this mic, I can get online, I can shoot this shit out to YouTube or any number of outlets and have my opinion shared with other people across the ocean. And that is scaring them. See, that's why I like that guy, Ibrahim Traore. He just took his country in 2 years. He ain't taking no money from nobody. He used the power and the money and the resources of his own country and the people in it. Think about that. It's a little small, little landlocked country. Him, let's see, Burkina Faso, Niger, and I think it's Mali. I think that's what it is, Mali. I think that's what's the name of it, the city, the country. But it's just 3 countries over there in the Sahel. They call them Sahel states. They are doing the damn thing. They done kicked the French out. They taking control of the country's assets, their gold, their uranium, their bauxite, all of that shit. They're saying, nah, we ain't just let you take that shit no more. You got to pay us what it's worth. And they are growing. Why can't we do the exact same thing here? Why can't we set up industries over here and over there? Why can't we do those things, y'all? There's no reason why we can't. The only limitation is are the limitations that we put upon ourselves. And as long as we're doing this bickering about this stuff, all this petty stuff, man, it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. We talking about they ain't did nothing for us. What's the last time they did something for us? Well, what we done did for them? I mean, it goes both ways. So we got to understand. We have to start getting past our differences and focus more on what we have in common. We are all one people, and quit trying to be every damn thing but black. People talking about you, I'm Indian, I'm this, man, you black. I don't give a damn. I see people over there, other parts of the world, talking about blacker than me, talking about they white. Come on, man. Come on, fuck that bullshit, man. Because in our minds, because we've been so indoctrinated to think that white is right and black ain't good. When black is the foundation of every society on this planet, we are the beginnings of everything. We are the beginnings of everything. Be proud of that. And so, not trying to take nothing away from that brother. He did good for himself. But we got to do better for ourselves too. Look, I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's just say, I'm just trying to think about some of the things I had in my comments. A gentleman was talking about Tarig had a he talked about something in one of his movies, right? But just think about the movie, right? Just thinking about all these Hidden Color movies. Okay. Now, when he first made that Hidden Color 1, he got donations from the community. He had a following. He had built it up himself. Great. Okay, so he built it up. We gave him donations. He made a movie. It was a hit. Okay, so he took that money and a portion of that money and made the movie. Okay, so he did it again. We donated again. But the trick is this. Okay, you paid for the movie. You paid for the movie to help him make the movie, right? Now he's going to sell you the fucking movie, man. He's going to sell you the movie and you don't get nothing back. You paid out your money to help him make the movie and then he's going to sell it to you. Damn, come on now. Okay, so typically when a movie's being made, you got people that invest in the movie. And they say, okay, look, I think I might have a hit here. They run it by all these people, all their investors and all that stuff, and they read the movie, the script, say, yeah, it sounds good. Might be a hit. Right? Just take the movie, for example, Sinners right now. It's out right now. Okay, so investors invest in that money, in that movie. It's always a chance, but they invested in that movie. The movie is a hit, right? So what happens, they put that in all the theaters and then they sell and then the investors get their profit back. They get their money they invested with some profit on top. But see, with his movies, Tarik's, he get all the profits and you help them make the movie. I mean, do that make sense? I see maybe in the beginning, maybe the first two, but damn, all the time, ask somebody for making an investment in a movie and give them some of that money back. See, we do stuff like I never heard other people do. It doesn't make sense to do that kind of stuff. Umar Johnson still asking for money for a damn school that's sitting over there rotting away. Tarig said, now if any of them people, any of y'all, and I put money in that shit. I put money on the Hidden History Museum. Now, if you put money in that Hidden History Museum and you are aware of what it was, the presentation they had when he did that commercial, or what it was going to be. It was going to be 3 stories, had theaters, and he made it seem so grandiose, so fantastical. It was going to be a fantastic thing, and the concept was good. But what did you get? You got a cabaret hall, man. And who benefits from that? You don't get nothing out of that. It's people that invested from that all over, and all you get to do is go around, sit up in there, and it's like it's a cabaret. You go in there, he got some fried chicken, some tenders, and all that shit, and you go and listen to a DJ, and you sit around, look at the little shit he done bought, the little stores here and there, and then it's over. He didn't give you the grandiose things that he presented in that movie. It was a bait and switch. He didn't pay outright for that building. He made payments on the movie. He's making payments on that building. Yeah. He's making payments on that building. He took the rest of that money and pocketed that shit. I don't like that kind of stuff. And I ain't trying to, dig up in the man's pocket, but that's common sense though. Yeah, he's supposed to make some money, but he's supposed to give you what he said he was going to give you too. So I really don't give a shit what y'all think, because I know how that game is going. I see it, and I know that the only way that we can progress from here on out is that we have to unite with all of the Africans that want to unite in the diaspora. You can see what I'm saying right now. Okay, in South Africa, Trump is offering South Africans the opportunity to come to America. He's not a South African. He's not a Dutch person. I think he's German or something. But because they white, they share the same phenotype. He's going to offer them that. Yeah, he's going to offer them that. See, but we don't do stuff like that. See, we are so messed up that I'm looking at that Africa. I'm looking at somebody in South Africa or Burkina Faso or Chad, and I'm looking at him as an enemy. He is a tether. And a tether looking at us as some kind of damn small, stupid, privileged Negro. We got to come together. We got to come together. If we are to survive in the 21st century, man, we got to get past all of that. We got to learn to get past all those differences and put our most intelligent minds on that matter and work that stuff out. Because our very survival depends on it. Right? Especially in these times, we have to come together. Because if we don't, we will perish. We will perish. And it will be all because we didn't understand the games that are being played on us every day. And you got people that constantly foment that kind of confusion and dissensions between us. They've been doing it for years, and they have people that are in our own midst, our own community, people that look just like us, keep that shit going because they get something out of it. They profit from that. Not the whole, but just a few individuals. So y'all, I don't want y'all to get mad at me about that. That's how I feel about that. And I really feel that we need to do more research, do more reading, more understanding of what's going on. They got a book. I know y'all probably know about Amos Wilson's book, Blueprint for Black Power. Excellent book. I'm looking at it right here. But the one book I'm talking about right now, what is that? It's called, it's by this guy named Jeremy Rifkin, and it's called The End of Work. Now, he has a chapter in there about the African American that is so damn deep. I would recommend anybody to read it. You get the library. It's an old book, but he's talking about the things that are actually, he's talking about that in the 90s that are actually happening now. So we can't afford to be playing a little game about, you over here and I'm over there, and you're a tether, and whatever they call us. I forgot that word they call us and shit. We got to get past that, get past our differences, and work for our communities on both continents. I mean, throughout the diaspora, no matter what language you speak, whether you speak in Spanish, Portuguese, English, whatever. And we got to work that out. We have to work that out, because no matter if whatever your nationality, what I'm saying, not nationality, whatever part of the world they took you to when they enslaved you, you just a nigga. I don't care what language you speak. To them, you are just a nigga that's below them, that needs to be controlled. We have to break out of that mode and learn to do for ourselves. And the only way we do that, we have to be able to communicate with one another and work together and get past all of our differences. We have to. So I welcome anything in the comment section. Fine, that's cool. What you think I'm bullshitting, whatever. I don't care. I'm just saying this is a reality that we are facing. And all you got to do is get out of this legacy media and get online and listen to these people. Listen to those people that got shows in Africa and see what they're doing over there. Listen to those guys. Listen to people that got shows right here in America. Not on NBC, ABC, CBS. They just spitting the shit that the big businesses tell them to spit. You get that real news, the real information from going online, getting away from legacy media, because you ain't gonna get nothing but some bullshit. Everything is rosy and all that shit for them. It's all Democrat, Republicans. That's all they talking about. So that's all I got. I just wanted to come back and just talk about that, because I had so many people that was coming at me in the comment section. I don't mean no harm. Every time I say this, or every time I'm gonna come on here, this is not to belittle anybody or talk about anything. My total reasoning for being on this thing is because I love my people, all of my people. I don't care where you're from. If you Black, I love you. I don't care. So we have to have more of that, but we can't be bullshitting no more. And if people don't want to participate, those don't want to participate, we got to get them out the way, because they getting in the way. That's all I got. Peace. Y'all have a good one.